talk about X.
Go ahead and start recording because I need to clean before his vet appointment because we have friends demanding to meet the new little
Yes,
kitten.
meet the baby, which is excellent. Excellent for all the
Which
friends to
we're
come.
we're gonna have to see how that goes because Trixie is already territorial and she loves
Yeah.
Paul so much. So let's see how she
Oh.
deals with these people she hates.
The people, yes, coming into her house.
Yep. Speaking of, oh wait, wrong intro. That's not how we start anyway.
Yes, I know.
Oh,
Oh yeah, shit, I should probably look up the thing.
sometimes I
Sometimes.
forget.
That's okay. That was a cool transition,
It would have
actually.
been. It would have been back in the old
Yeah,
days.
back in the day, but unfortunately, we're very rigid now. So we have to do the outro document, although the intro's on the outro document too.
Yep. Welcome to the Real Horror Show podcast, a horror movie review podcast where we review horror movies from Netflix, Hulu, Shudder, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sam Odie.
And I'm your co-host, Stormy Skies.
Welcome to our podcast. Today we are reviewing X. X is a 2022 American slasher film written, directed, and produced and edited by Ty West. It stars Mia Goth in dual roles, a young woman named Maxine, and an elderly woman named Pearl. The film also stars Jenna Ortega, Martin Henderson, Brittany Snow, Owen Campbell, Stephen Uri, and Scott Mescudi. Set in 1979, the film follows a cast and crew who gather to make a pornographic film on an elderly couple's rural Texas property, but find themselves threatened by a homicidal couple. And this is how we like to break it down. We start with characters and acting, followed by story and writing, and then production. And then we like to discuss the real horror this movie addresses. Sometimes they're serious, and sometimes we like to have a little bit of goofy fun. That being said, we are a horror movie podcast, so here is a general trigger warning. We talk about death, blood, guts, and other unsavory topics, but that might not be suitable for everyone, although we try to do so sensitively. Listeners' discretion is advised. Movies are then rated on a scale of what the fuck did I just watch, which means there are no redeeming qualities to be found. Meh, it's just okay. And aw, yeah, that fucked me up, which is what all horror should strive to be. So
Hell
let's get
yeah.
started.
Hell yeah.
So I saw X when it came out in theaters, like a good little horror critic.
Nice. That's cool. I have never seen it until I think I watched it like 2 or 3 days ago now, but wow.
which
Heck
is
yeah.
which is shocking because you're such a Mia Goth fan.
I do like Mia Goth a lot. Yeah. She's like 100% horror girly. She's in all the
Mm-hmm.
cool shit. Yeah.
Because right after
Adore
this, she
her.
was in Infinity Pool, which was the
Oh yeah.
Cronenberg. Cronen.
That's on my list on I think it's on Hulu and I
It
that's on
is.
my watch list.
It
Yeah.
is on Hulu. 10 out of 10 saw jizz.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, cool. Well, great, because that's a good point. Yeah, that's a great. I'm glad that you brought that up, Sam, because I have a lot of things to say about this movie and the
Oh yeah,
lack
there's
of
also
some
jizz in this
things.
movie.
Oh yeah, there is after the fact. Yeah, but that's it.
In
Everything
reality,
else. Yeah.
so fun like behind the scenes porn trick. I'm not a porn actress.
Yeah. You're
I've
not a.
never done porn. However, there was a YouTuber called Redhead Redemption who's an ex-porn
Mhm.
star turned Twitch streamer, and she
Cool.
would give like behind the scenes looks at the porn industry. Cetaphil is what they use in cum
Ah,
shots.
that is
Like
like what I use to wash my face with.
yeah. So like I mean obviously in hardcore porn it's real, but
It's real,
for like
but
the like pictures for like any promotional
yeah,
artwork they use Cetaphil because
excellent.
it looks like
It
jizz.
looks like it, yeah, because it's
So
yeah,
yeah, the
sweet.
more you know. But
That
Cetaphil
was
great
probably it.
great for your face.
It is great for your face. You can use that or CeraVe, switch back and forth between the two.
Yeah, CeraVe or Cetaphil. Um,
Gross.
so anyway, I really liked this movie and I liked Pearl. Pearl is on Amazon Prime.
Okay, excellent. Good to know.
And David and I
Got
are
that.
seeing Maxine next Friday.
Yes. Cool. Okay,
So
cool.
I'm very excited. And it's actually weird that Maxine has
Oh.
had like a longer like release schedule, and I guess the strikes
Oh
had
yeah, I
something to
keep
do with that.
forgetting that. Yeah.
Because when we get to production, I'll bring up that Pearl and X were shot back to back.
Oh, get out. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think it was originally planned to have a prequel, but they decided that they wanted to do one, and they just shot it back to back with Mia Goth,
Yeah.
and she helped write Pearl.
Oh,
So
sweet.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't like originally planned to do a prequel, but they just loved this character so much and wanted to explore Pearl
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
and especially Mia Goth because she plays both, which
Yeah.
getting into characters and acting, it took me an embarrassing long time to realize Pearl was played by Mia Goth as well.
Well, I knew that Pearl was a young woman in prosthetics, just like the other guy was in super old man prosthetics. So I was like, okay, so these are like young people. I wonder if we're gonna get a reveal. But
Mhm.
I was thinking of a different thing, but I didn't know it was Mia Goth either until like I Googled it later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was
Um,
like somebody else.
I didn't realize, but I don't think I realized it until Pearl was
Yeah.
coming out
Oh,
that she
well,
played both.
but we knew it was Pearl. We knew it was the old woman's name was Pearl though.
Yes. And I think that's just a testament to the old age makeup they put on Mia Goth and Mia Goth's acting. Like now that I
Oh, hell
know,
yeah.
I can
Yeah.
pick up the cadence in her voice.
Uh-huh. Yeah, now that I know, if I watch it again, you're right. Yeah, I'll be able to like pick out stuff, but I didn't like I knew it was a younger actor. I didn't know it was her. I
Mhm.
couldn't tell.
Yeah, because
So good job.
I think Mia's very talented, but she definitely has a cadence to the way she speaks
Hmm.
that carries over no matter what accent
Yeah.
she's putting on.
Yeah. And if
And
you're
it's
trying to
because
sound
in real
old,
life she
yeah.
has a very little dainty English girl accent from the
Yeah.
countryside.
Yeah, that's exactly how she sounds. It's like very high pitched and very like young.
Like
It's
almost fake.
crazy.
Almost fake.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And I
But
will
that's just how
say
she is.
Mia
Yeah.
Goth might be a problematic queen because she is in a relationship with Shia LaBeouf and had a baby with him. But
Oh shit, for real?
for reals,
Damn, because they were in that sex movie together.
after like the shit that came out about him, like sexually assaulting someone
Oh
and being a
God.
general piece of shit, I think that they got together
Jesus.
after that. So she might be a bit of a problematic queen. I don't
I
know their
see.
personal life. I just know what Shia LaBeouf was accused of and what his
Well,
penis looks like.
yeah, because they were both in, I think, I don't know if they were both in part one or part two of the Nymphomaniac movies together.
Oh, was she a nymphomaniac? How old
She
is
was in
she?
Nymphomaniac part two,
How old
and
is
she was
she?
like a love interest. And she's the one that pees on Joe, the girl at the
Oh,
end. That's her.
is she older than I think she is?
Maybe.
It's that fucking voice she has.
I know. She's like, I'm just a little girl. I'm 10. I'm just a baby. Help me. But no, she's probably like, maybe she's like 40. Maybe she's like in her late 30s. No, it says she's 30. Maybe she just started acting super fucking
I
young.
guess she would have been pretty young when she did that then, like
Yeah,
freshly
that's
in her 20s.
2013. Yeah, 2013. So that's a while ago. Yeah, she
Oh,
is
damn,
married
she
to
was 20 when she did that then.
fucking psycho Shia. Can't believe she's married to him. I didn't know he was married at all.
Yeah. They got married in
Well,
2016.
well, wow, interesting. They're still together, so we'll
Yeah,
see.
so anyway,
It's
she's
weird.
very talented.
Yeah, yeah,
Um has a weird baby voice, which is always shocking to hear, especially because I knew her from this franchise before I knew her from
Oh,
anything else.
yeah,
So her voice is pretty husky in
yeah,
this movie. And so when you hear her in real life and she's just like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very jarring.
It's well, she still has. I thought she still had a dainty voice. She just had an American accent, so I probably think she suppressed that like
Mhm.
really high pitched or whatever. But now that I know that she was an old woman, that was a very like quiet, high, like still high, but
Yeah. And as I've jokingly said, we need to give Mia Goth an Oscar before her face gets stuck like that. Because she has like this face she does in these horror movies where the eyebrows are raised and the teeth are gritted. And
yeah.
it's especially prominent towards the end of Infinity Pool when she does it. And it's
Okay.
just like, give her an Oscar before her face gets stuck like that. I don't think she'll get an Oscar doing horror.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
because,
People just don't,
it's very
unfortunately.
rare for an actor to get on an Oscar doing horror. I think
Yeah.
Jordan Peele won a screenplay for his horror script. Um,
Oh yeah.
and then
But like
Silence of the Lambs, but those are the
that's it, dude.
exceptions.
Silence is it, man.
Yeah.
After that, they're like, oh
Although
yeah, no.
I'm very hopeful 2 weeks from now, before we record the podcast, actually, maybe not because I think you'll be on vacation
Yeah,
2 weeks from
3 weeks.
now.
Yep, 3 weeks.
I'm seeing Longlegs. I know nothing about Longlegs. I keep
Ooh.
swiping past even spoiler-free reviews. I'm swiping
Okay.
past spoiler-free reviews on TikTok.
Yeah.
It is a new horror
Nick.
movie that they have released very little info about. All I know is that Nicolas Cage is playing like the psychopath in it.
Ooh,
And
cool. I love
based
that.
based on the single voice snippet I heard in one of the trailers, I'm going to preemptively say Oscar nominated role.
Wow, cool. Okay.
Because
Excellent.
we need to remember that Nicolas Cage is an Oscar winning actor.
Yeah. Yeah, what did he win for?
Adaptation in 93 or 94.
Whoa.
No, 93 probably.
He's been acting for like a billion years. This
He was
guy.
in Fast Times at Ridgemont High as Nicholas Coppola. As Nicolas Cage is a Coppola.
He looks the same. I know he's a Coppola, that's cool. But he just looks the same always, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like never
Yeah.
changed.
And we talk about Nepo babies a lot in
Mhm.
recent discourse of like talent and acting. Nicolas Cage did the Nepo baby thing right because he only ever did one movie as Nicholas Coppola
Yeah.
and decided to change his name to Nick Cage and has succeeded on his own to
Yeah.
the point that it's fucking shocking when you find out that he's Francis Ford Coppola's nephew.
Yeah. But he has his own cult following, like
Yeah.
the man.
Yeah.
So he did it right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Um, Other characters that are actually in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
um,
not Nick Cage.
yeah. Brittany Snow is
Yes, I
always
love
such a
her.
delight.
I know. I love when I see her because I felt bad that she was in the remake of Prom Night, which is the only time I ever saw
Mhm.
her. But she's a horror girly.
She is,
She's
and
excellent.
like prom night is such a bad example of just how much she like puts herself in these roles. Like
Yeah,
when the role is good, she just has a fucking blast with it.
I know.
And you
Yes.
could tell she was having so much fun with this part.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I loved her.
And she got to sing because we all know Brittany
Yeah.
Snow from Pitch
She's
Perfect.
oh, cool.
Yeah,
I saw
she's
Pitch Perfect. I didn't even realize she was in that.
yeah, she's a
That's
redhead in Pitch
cute.
Perfect. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Actually very similar character to what she plays here, but
Nice.
different outcome, of
A different
course.
outcome. Excellent. Yeah,
No
she's
boobs.
no boobs. Yeah, it's cool to see the boobs. I wasn't really sure what was gonna happen with boobs in this movie.
Well, I wasn't either when I saw it for the
You
first
know?
time because
Yeah.
I know Brittany Snow from like these kind
Yeah.
of more family friendly, like teenage
Yeah.
movies. She did fuck, I can't remember it. It's a horror movie that I really like that a lot of people like where people you play a game that people are at a dinner, they have to survive to play a game and they win $10,000. When they
Would you
serve
rather?
Would You Rather, yes. Because
Cool.
she's in Would You Rather, which is not like one of these types of horror movies where you get the random boob flash.
Yeah, but no,
So
we saw her boobs.
yeah, so she puts her whole Snowacy into a role.
Yes. So we got the boobs and butt,
Mhm.
maybe. But
And
no, yeah.
this is also one of the many movies from 2022 that helped launch Jenna Ortega
Oh, yep.
into
I
the
forgot.
horror
Yeah.
icon stratosphere.
I didn't even realize she was in this movie. I was like, shit, there she is
Yeah,
again.
so in 2022 she did Scream 5, Studio
Damn.
666, which is a horror comedy Foo Fighters movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Um and
Wow.
then on top of that, Wednesday came out
Oh my God. Yeah, the series. Yep.
and she signed
Wow.
on to play Winona's daughter in
And
allegedly
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, now that I saw the trailer, she is actually in it, but I don't know if it's her
I
daughter or
just I
not.
just think these deep fakes are getting out of hand with this
Oh,
Beetlejuice
damn.
2 nonsense. Listen, the amount of people I see unironically in like the comments section of the trailer on any
Yeah.
platform say, I thought Johnny Depp was going to be in it because of that
The fuck?
fucking fake poster that
Oh.
always catches like wildfire on Facebook. Like I see
Oh,
it so many
you.
times, and every time I say, why the fuck would Johnny Depp be in Beetlejuice? He wasn't in the first one. It's Michael Keaton's like role.
Yeah, it's fucking Michael. Oh, I just looked up the fake
Yeah.
picture.
Like everybody who's listening knows exactly what I'm talking about.
These people are stupid.
I
I feel
know.
like people
And
are just stupid and don't
my
have
hot
critical
take
thinking skills.
is
Yeah.
just because it's Tim Burton doesn't mean Johnny Depp is going to be in
Right.
it. And
Right.
some of Tim Burton's best movies don't have Johnny Depp.
Like
Like he
Beetlejuice
has
one.
a pretty big, like maybe not pretty big, but he has like a lot of movies from before he and Johnny Depp had their partnership.
Yeah.
And like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, people forget that's Tim Burton's first movie.
Dude,
And
yeah.
an icon. Love it. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Yes.
What else did he do? Batman. Fucking Batman. He did
Batman
Batman.
with fucking Mike. It's Michael Keaton in that one too, right? He did the Michael
Yeah.
Keaton Batman. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. That was his dude before fucking Johnny came along.
Yeah.
So
And then I
yeah.
think he met Johnny when they did Ed Woods.
Oh
Because
yeah, the black
Johnny
and
Depp
white.
played Ed Woods.
Yeah, Ed Wood.
And
Yeah.
I mean, you can't blame him. Johnny Depp just has the bone structure to do goth uh,
Yeah, he does.
movies.
Especially if there's like no facial hair
Yeah. But
and pale.
I think everything that's happened with Johnny Depp in the past few years, Tim Burton didn't stop making movies and he doesn't need Johnny Depp.
Yeah, he's
I
like,
think at
let's
this
let
point, Johnny
Johnny.
Depp needs
Yeah.
Tim Burton.
Right. It's like let's let Johnny just like yeah.
Let's let him
deal with
retire.
deal with his life right now.
Yeah.
Lots going on with his life.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, fucking Michael Keaton is a star in my heart. I like him better than Johnny Depp in my opinion
I
because I
know.
think
I'm so
he's
excited
so
for
great.
Beetlejuice too. I saw some idiots in TikTok comments say, "Oh, I wish they brought Alex Brightman to play Beetlejuice." And I'm like, "Bitch,
Who's
why?"
that?
Alex Brightman originated the
What?
role of Beetlejuice in Beetlejuice the
Oh.
musical on Broadway. And they're
Oh.
like, "I know it's Michael Keaton's role. I just prefer Alex Brightman's rendition." And I'm like,
Uh,
"It's based on Michael Keaton."
it's based on Michael Keaton, and Michael Keaton is a film star, so we're gonna use the film star, not the musical stage actor who sings.
And I just love in the
Yeah.
trailer, Beetlejuice is so loyal to fuck, I forget
Winona.
Winona. He's like, I'm gonna make you so happy, and he still wants to marry her after all these years. And
Lydia is Lydia.
he's not just gonna be a stepdad, he's gonna be the dad that stepped up.
Oh my God, that's so hilarious to me. Um, that's the love of his life.
I
I
will
love
say
it.
Beetlejuice the
Yeah.
musical, I haven't seen it. I really want to. It's on my bucket list of shows to see.
Yeah. You have to let me know.
One of the songs does address the fact that she's a teenage bride.
For real, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Which
like
a lot of
straight up
people think is weird,
15.
but I don't know. He's dead. He's not
Beetlejuice
any.
is dead.
Yeah, and
Things,
now
yeah.
it was weird back in the 80s, but now he's like 70 and she's 50. It's normal. It's fine. It's healthy.
It's totally fine, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's dead still, so he's
And
frozen at the age he was at before
yeah.
when he
And
died.
it's not like in Beetlejuice he was attracted to Lydia. He wanted to
No.
marry her as part. Fuck, it's been so long since I've seen Beetlejuice. We have it on Blu-ray. We should watch it.
Yeah.
He wanted her for like some sort of deal.
Yeah, it was a deal so he can like stop having to live in that model and he can like actually live in the human world, but he needed to be
Yes,
married
yes.
to a human.
Yes. So she was just a prop. And she probably
Yes.
still is a prop,
But I'm sure in the process he like fell in love because she was so beautiful and goth
I
and
know.
smart.
How could you not fall in love with Winona Ryder?
Oh my God, I don't know. You can't not. You just do. She's wonderful.
Yeah. So Jenna Ortega, horror icon, really like
Yes.
just fucking shot to the stratosphere of icon status in 2022
Yeah.
with this movie. Like I knew about Scream in 2022, and I think I
Yeah.
knew she was in this one, but I didn't know she was in Studio 666. And then she was Wednesday Addams, and then now she's Winona Ryder, and she is also a horror girly. I
Yeah.
love the dedication she put into crafting her version of Wednesday as a character.
Mhm.
And I know like when trailers started to drop for Wednesday, people were upset with like the dance scene in Wednesday where
Yes,
and they're like
I'm obsessed.
Wednesday would never dance, she would never smile. I'm like, well, if you're making Wednesday the protagonist, it's really hard to just write a good character that's stoic
Yeah.
1000% of the time. And also, of course, Wednesday would fucking dance. She's the daughter of Gomez and Morticia Adams.
Yes. Yeah. And they said that she did like a goth dance.
Yeah, and she researched how
Yeah.
goths dance
Yeah.
at clubs and like people
She
who
made it. Yeah.
people
She made the dance.
who only see goth the goth subculture through like television where it's mostly just like stereotypes don't
Yeah.
realize that goths love to dance.
Right.
Like it's a whole
Yes.
part of the subculture because goth is not a there is a fashion component, but it didn't start as a fashion subculture. It is a music-based subculture.
Music. Yeah.
And you
Music
dance to
first.
music, and it's a very synth poppy music genre.
Yeah.
And she
But
nailed
yeah.
it.
I thought, yeah, that was like one of my favorite things because I just adore that show. I loved her in it. I love that, like, no matter how strange or awkward, she still got like the cute boyfriend.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Who took her to prom and she danced. I don't know. She's just, yeah. And I don't care that she's stoic too much or smiles too much. But like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing as like
Hmm.
in the movie where the other person played her,
Yeah, and we have
you
to
know?
remember that while Christina Ricci was
Mhm.
genetically modified in a lab to be Wednesday Addams,
For real.
she isn't the first rendition of Wednesday. And the first
Mm-hmm.
rendition is from the 1960s cartoon, not cartoon, sitcom. And she was just
Yeah,
a little girl and she did
it's a girl.
smile and laugh
Yeah,
and tap dance.
for
So
sure. Yeah, it's
nice.
fine.
It's nice to remember that goths are people too.
Yes, and they can like have facial like muscles to do like the mouth movement to smile, maybe.
Especially now that we're in this heat wave and it's just getting hotter in the summer. You
For
could meet
real.
somebody in the fall, meet someone in June and not know they're a goth.
Yes, exactly. You may not know.
As I was telling David at Aldi last night, while I was in a black dress, I know I have friends who work in lawn care and they're really struggling this week, but does anyone ever consider my struggle of being goth light
Being goth. Yeah, same, right?
and
I
trying
call
to wear
myself,
black in
yeah.
the summer?
Right. I do what's called stealth goth because it helps me get away with stuff. I'm sure it's not even a real thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like I wear all black when it suits me and when the weather's good, but every other time it's like cute shit.
Yeah,
You know?
think there's a belief that in the summer goths melt into hippies. I think
Yeah, that's how I feel,
that's so
dude. That's
valid.
exactly it. Oh my God, that's exactly it.
Um,
It's
anyway,
true. Anyway, who's next? Kid Cudi.
yes. We have the star of the porno film whose name I can't remember. I should have the name.
Jackson.
Jackson, who's just he's a really cool dude.
He
I
is.
like
He's so
him.
cool.
I
He's
feel
like
bad for him. He could have been a final
Vietnam vet.
boy.
I know. He's like, I'm a Vietnam vet and a porn star. And isn't Kid Cudi like a musician?
Hmm.
Musician. Kid Cudi. Yes, songs. American rapper. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, that's cool that he's in a horror movie. Sweet. Okay, we gotta get like more like random musicians in horror movies. I feel like this is a theme.
Yeah. And I think it's really cool that he didn't go by Kid Cudi for the marketing of this film. He went by his government name. So
Oh,
to me, that tells me he wants to be taken seriously as an actor
I
as well. And
agree.
he was really good.
But
Um,
no, I get that because sometimes I want to go by Stormy, but then sometimes I'll go by my given name depending on like what the outlet is.
mhm,
So like I get it. That's really cool.
mhm.
Kid Cudi,
Um,
what's his name?
it was
Scott.
Scott,
Scott Ramon Seguro Mescudi.
yeah,
Oh, so his last name is Mescudi, like Cuddy.
yeah,
Cuddy or Cootie, I'm not sure. It's Cuddy.
probably
Excellent.
Cudi if it's
He's
Kid Cudi.
40. He's 40.
Yeah. Um, anyway, he was really good. He was very good. I
Yeah.
think I wish they had used him more because I think he's also just an interesting character, an ex-Marine who goes into porn. And when
Yeah,
the
how'd that
creepy
work?
old guy, when the creepy old guy shows up saying my wife is missing, and you're like, all right, I'll go find her.
Dude, yeah, he really helps. I was like, dang, he's like great. And what
I
else was
don't
I gonna
need no
say?
flashlight.
Yeah, he's like, I don't need a flashlight. I can basically see in the dark because once a Marine, always a Marine.
Yeah. So I hope
Semper
I
Fi.
I hope we see Kid Cudi or Scott Mescudi in
Mhm.
more films coming up.
Yeah. Um,
Then we have
yeah.
Martin. No,
Martin.
who was
Oh yeah, Wayne, the guy. Yeah,
Wayne?
Martin
Yeah,
Henderson. Yeah,
wait,
you're right.
Martin Henderson. Sorry, since I'm looking
This
at
guy.
IMDb, they're not in their like prosthetic makeup, so I'm trying to remember who exactly was
Right.
who.
Who is
Uh,
this guy? He's just like a rando.
I thought he was a discount
Yeah,
Matthew
right.
McConaughey.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Are they trying to make him look like somebody else? And I was like, he's just like a guy.
I mean, Matthew McConaughey is just textbook Texan, so it worked.
I know he is. He's too expensive, probably.
Yeah,
He's another person with a cult following.
yeah. And then we have RJ, who's Jenna Ortega's boyfriend, who's a little bitch. He's like, stop being
Oh
a
yeah.
prude.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make my name filming porn, but doing it artistically, like the French. And then she's like, I
Right.
want to do a scene, and he's like,
He's like, no.
crying in the shower.
I
Jackson
know what a
probably gave her
bitch.
her first orgasm, you know.
Yeah, look at this little like nerd guy.
Fucking nerd.
Dude,
Uh,
he's in a fucking crazy fucking horror movie, like psychological thriller though, called Super Dark Times on Netflix, and that movie's fucking
ooh,
insane.
I still need to watch Super Dark Times.
It's like you have to be in the right headspace because it's kind of like a almost like an indie film, but
Ooh.
it's fucked up. And anyway, yeah, cool. I thought I recognized him a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I want to be like hoity-toity and like make an Oscar-worthy sex movie. I'm like
Mhm.
this fucking guy.
And then Stephen Uri plays Howard,
Howard.
covered in prosthetic makeup, and
It's
he
funny
was
because he's
so good.
old, but they made him look like way older, which I thought was kind
Yeah.
of funny. But
Which the way that they age,
yeah,
Pearl and Howard, maybe that he wasn't away in World War II, but in Pearl, no, it
yeah.
had to
She
be
said
World War II because
it was two and the Vietnam War because she said both wars. It's
yeah.
definitely not World War
Okay,
One. He'd be
so
dead. Yeah.
like Pearl takes place in the 40s then, and that's only 30 years ago, and she was like only 20. So the fact that these characters are probably only in their 60s is
Ah!
insane.
Wow, they look really bad.
Yeah, they've lived a hard life.
I know. You can tell they've been through two wars.
They've lived a long,
Jesus
hard
Christ.
life.
That's actually hilarious because why do they look so old? They don't have to look like that.
They didn't, but I appreciate
That's
the
so
work that went
funny.
into it.
I do too. I appreciate it because they were just old people and they like try not to show the guy because remember they said he was like so ugly looking. I'm like, oh, he must like be disfigured, but no, he's just old.
Aww.
Just old. Wow.
Um,
Anyway,
anyway, moving into writing and story, this movie has like major Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes.
it does, dude. I was like, whoa.
Like
Major. Yeah.
right down to, did 74 open up with the crime scene too? I don't think it did. Did it?
It didn't, but it opened with like the guys over like his voice and he was saying like this
Okay.
like this is like a true story herp derp derp.
Okay,
So
good
a little
because
bit, yeah.
my note was that it had the opening reminds me of Texas 03 because we open with the crime scene
Ooh,
just like we do
yeah.
in 03 where we have the police footage of them
Uh-huh.
going through the crime
Yes.
scene.
That's what I thought too. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you're right. Yes.
So I like that it kind of pulls from both versions, which I think is totally fair. If Texas
Absolutely.
Chainsaw 03 has no fans, then I am dead.
I like Texas 03 because I love Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
She's super hot.
Um,
But no, yeah, I think that whole movie is like great. So at least there's two of us.
yeah. And so the story is simple and it's my personal favorite genre of horror, which is a group of
Mhm.
young adults decide to go to the middle of nowhere and fuck up.
Do a thing. Yeah, and like do a thing.
And you know what? I'll say I don't think
Yeah.
they necessarily fucked up. No one made any stupid decisions.
No,
Really. It's
they were working technically, you
yeah, it's
know.
not their fault that Pearl
Is
is
a
a little horny.
yeah, but also like fucking maniac.
Yeah, I mean, you're horny, what are you gonna do? Have sex or kill someone with you? There's still penetration
Right.
involved.
Get pissed whenever like strangers don't want to have sex with you
Yeah.
when you look like you're fucking 110, but you're actually 59.
Yeah. And I just want to put a disclaimer here, even though we have our trigger warning. If someone doesn't want to have sex with you, no matter your gender or your age or your sexuality, that does not mean you get to stab them in the
Right.
throat repeatedly and
Yeah,
then
you
go and
shouldn't.
kill all of their friends.
Yeah, no retaliation is necessary because like it's an ask. And if they say no, that's one part
Mhm.
of the question. So it's either yes or no. If it's
Mhm.
no, that's still okay.
Yeah.
But for Pearl, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's just fucking killed everybody.
Like it's such a this movie is such a good
Mm,
homage to
yeah.
like this very exploitative type of horror that we got in the 70s that's just off the walls, insane. And
Yeah.
reading through like the influences on Wikipedia, I totally got all of that. And one of the influences was a very famous like porn film from the 70s called Debbie Does Dallas, which
Huh.
I've never watched it, but I have heard like Debbie Does Dallas referenced in pop culture.
Yeah, me too.
So I think
Yeah.
all of that makes sense. And the 70s were a time where the line between porn and actual movies
Uh-huh.
were very blurred because of what comes up a lot in the story, which is we're going to be famous because of this home movie distribution system.
Right. Yes.
Um,
Like VHS videos. That's
yeah,
wild.
the Hays
That was
Code,
cool.
the
Yeah.
Hays Code apparently did not cover VHS tapes
Oh.
based solely what I heard on this movie. I don't know for sure, but
Mhm.
it did cover what was
Yeah.
released in theaters.
Right.
So with movies
Yeah.
going direct to VHS, you could put in a lot more risque shit and get away with it
Yeah.
and, not be penalized with an X rating.
Right. Right.
X.
X Factor.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
it does a good job at paying homage to that. And this is more of a production note, but
Yeah.
Ty West does do a lot of these movies that pay homage to different decades of horror. One of my favorite horror movies that he directed was House of the Devil, which is
Yeah.
like you could tell someone it was shot in the 80s and they would probably believe you, but it's so good. It's very simple. It's about a girl who gets a babysitting job because I don't think it's outright stated that she's pregnant, but all it's a underlying theme that she is pregnant, she needs an abortion, so she takes this babysitting job to get the money to have the abortion.
Mhm.
And it turns out that it's really a satanic cult who's going to sacrifice her. Um, but
Ah, yes.
it's so good. It came out in 2009, the same year that Ty West directed the very over the top and I don't care for it Cabin Fever 2,
Oh, okay.
Brain Fever.
Looks like he did VHS too.
He was one of the directors involved with VHS. So VHS
Okay.
is an anthology film.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right.
So it brought together a bunch of like, indie horror directors to do little shorts that way
Yeah,
would be compiled into VHS.
definitely. Oh,
And I think he's done a couple for the VHS series. Probably not anymore now that he's made it big with A24 and
yeah.
the X trilogy.
The X trilogy.
Oh, he also
It's
did You're Next. That was
ah,
another big
yeah.
one, which I have never seen You're Next, but I've been meaning to since people say it's the better Strangers movie.
You're next. Next movie. What is this movie? I have not seen it either.
It's a lot like The Strangers.
Ah, somebody is next, clearly.
Yes,
Yeah.
someone says watch that instead of The Strangers because I guess it's better. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I watched The Strangers once, I think, just to watch it.
I quite like The Strangers.
You like The Strangers? All right,
Yeah.
cool. Are you gonna watch the new one? Did you already see the new one?
I have not seen the new one
Oh, okay.
because I think I already talked about this on the podcast, but our
Yeah.
peers, our community members, were talking about it And I had seen the trailer just one time, and I'm like, guys, it's not a sequel to The Strangers. It's called Chapter One.
Oh, yeah.
And from the trailer alone, it's clearly just a remake of the first movie. And then once the movie comes out and they've all seen it, they're like, this was just a cheap remake. It was a beat for beat remake that made
Yes.
less sense than the original. I'm like, yeah, I fucking knew that. And that's why I didn't go see it in theaters, because I think the original is flawless.
People just need to really think about things, you know what I mean, before they like critical
Yeah.
thinking. They need to do that. Even in the horror community, I feel
Yeah.
like that'll be a
And
good skill.
I will say, based on reviews, the most egregious thing Chapter One did, other than attempt to be a stealth remake, it wasn't stealthy at all. I saw through it the moment I saw that it was a
Yeah.
couple in a cabin. Uh, is apparently they meet the strangers in a diner,
Yes, the diner. Yeah.
but
There is a yeah.
in the original
No,
strangers, it's just a random
yeah.
encounter.
They just come at you.
They have no prior meeting, and I feel like when they're met before, it's
Mhm.
targeted. It's not just random, and that like
That's what I was
that
gonna
can
say. So the targeted thing makes it like less scary.
yeah, because the scariest part of the strangers is when Liv Tyler says, "Why are you doing this?" and the girl in the mask says, "Because you were home."
Yeah, that sucks. That means they fucking hit up everybody.
Yeah.
And then you were home, you idiots.
And I've always said that the
Oops.
prequel to The Strangers should not be a horror movie. It should be a buddy comedy where they're just going around knocking on doors and nobody's home until
That would
finally
be
we get to the
funny.
one house that they're
That would be
home.
really funny. But no, they have to like redo it again. Like, okay, stop and like do something else. Like we talk about that too. Like, come on,
And
guys, like got all these cool shit fucking ideas. Like, you
and
don't need to remake it.
we're
Yeah.
getting two more movies in this trilogy, and we're gonna find out who Tamra is.
You mean the Strangers trilogy?
No, yeah, in the
Strangers?
Strangers trilogy. And we're
Oh
gonna
my
find out who
gosh.
Tamra is, because that's what they say when they knock on the door. They say, "Is Tamra home?" I don't care
Oh,
who Tamra is. It's
I
just a
don't
fucking
care.
name.
She's just someone who just like probably lived there before and like moved. Whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah, who
Could just
fucking
be a
cares?
name they thought up off the top
So
of their head.
stupid. Literally it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, uh yeah. So
Anyway,
that happened.
so yeah, this group of kids, they decide to make a porno to become famous, because that's all Maxine wants. She wants to be famous. She wants the life that she deserves
For sure.
while she's doing a copious amount of cocaine.
Cocaine.
They go to this farm, which is their prime filming location. They meet the creepy farmer, and he says, "Keep your discretions away from my wife," which I think is a fair warning, because Pearl
Fine.
cannot keep it in her pants. The second she
Yes.
sees Maxine, she's like, "That was me 10 years ago."
10 years ago. I don't know what happened.
She has lemonade, they have an awkward
Um,
encounter, and then she becomes obsessed with Maxine. And then she sees that they're having sex in the barn
the
and filming
barn.
it. And
Oh
she's like,
God.
"I too enjoy sex."
But also, you're a whore.
Yeah.
If you're having sex, that's not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
We love a bicon.
yes, yes, we do.
So yeah, they're filming
Uh,
this movie, and once night falls and they finish filming for the day, they gather around and talk, and Lorraine, played by Jenna Ortega, is like, "Well, how are you okay with this? Because Maxine and what's his face are in a relationship." And he says, "When the camera's on, it's not
yeah,
cheating, it's just
it's
work, it's
work.
just
Yeah,
business."
yeah,
And she's intrigued. This whole time we've thought she was a prude, but she's just been observing. She's been interested, and
yeah.
she's like, "I want to do a scene." And so
And they're
they're
like,
like, "Fuck
"Ooh."
yeah."
They're like, yeah.
Except for her boyfriend, who's like, "You can't do a scene. You're a good girl."
And she's like, whatever, I want to do it. And he's like,
Stop,
uh.
stop being a prude.
Yeah, and Kiku's like, yeah, whatever.
And so they film a scene. Her boyfriend has a little nervous breakdown in the shower,
Dude, he does. Then just like, I'm leaving. Bye, losers.
but he's stopped by the scary old woman, which personally, I would just leave her be.
I would be like, I would just go around, like drive around her.
Mhm.
You know, I would just think she's having what do they call it when old people like leave their house and stuff, like when they're not supposed to, like an episode.
She's like, "Touch me. I want you to look at me like you look at her." And he's
And
like,
he's like,
no, thank you.
I'm just trying to leave, please. And she's like, hey, rest in peace.
And she
Fuck,
stabs
man.
him, kills
Yeah.
him. Shit starts hitting the fan.
Yep.
Jenna Ortega
Yeah.
realizes that he's missing, so she gets up to go find him with
Matthew McConaughey, great value.
Matthew McConaughey, and she gets locked in a basement by the husband, who realizes then that his wife is doing it again.
She's running amok on her episode again.
Mm-hmm. And Matthew McConaughey gets stabbed in the face.
In the eyeball, yeah. But I love that whenever people get stabbed in the eyeball, we just have to assume that it hits their brain all the way super deep that they die instantly.
Mm-hmm.
But he dies instantly. But anyway, yeah, rest in peace to him and his weirdly jacked body. Like,
yeah. Weirdly jacked for the 70s.
A little bit too jacked. I was like, okay, there, man.
Like, I'm not saying people weren't weightlifting. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger as a bodybuilder has been since like the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
But like the normal guy wasn't.
This was not normal. Yeah. Anyway.
So he dies. Pearl crawls into bed with Maxine.
Yes, because Maxine has slept through the entire ordeal.
And, you know, I think she masturbates a little.
Yes.
And probably, Maxine wakes up, does not take the situation well, as one would.
Well, no, she's like touching her. Yeah.
She's touching her.
And she probably thinks it's Matthew McConaughey.
Mm-hmm. And she does not take it well. Pearl, naked, runs out of the house. And
she like pushes past Brittany Snow, and Brittany's just like, the fuck?
Yeah. And Brittany
like,
goes out. Brittany goes out to find her. She finds her by a lake. And she's like, you know, I wanted to be a nurse. I'll help you get to your house. And Pearl hits her and she's like, okay, fuck you, old lady.
I know. She's like, I don't need a nurse. And she's like, I was just trying to help your episode. And she fucking pushed her in the pond, and there's fucking like a notorious alligator that lives in the pond.
Yeah.
I'm going to fact check if they're actually what is that? A gator, crocodile, whatever.
I think it would be a gator.
In Texas? Are there alligators in Texas? Yes. Okay. I was just checking. I thought it was a little too East Coast. So, anyway, that's fine. That's fine. And the alligator eats her. Death rolls her, eats her. And then Howard comes to find Pearl, and he's like, here we go again. So
he's like, I thought you liked that one. And she says, you know, I don't like blondes, which will be answered why she doesn't like blondes in the prequel, Pearl.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that next. Wait, did we skip Kid Cudi dying, or does that happen?
Yeah. Okay. We did skip over it, but his death was pretty undramatic.
Yeah, did he die from alligator too? No, he shot him. He shot him, right, with the shotgun?
Yeah, Howard shot him with the shotgun. He's like, you entass my wife.
With your big dick. Oh, she wasn't around it. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, he's like, you're another man. Yeah. You must die. But he was just trying to help him find Pearl, who wasn't even there.
Yeah, Jackson was such a cool dude.
Such a cool dude. Rest in peace, Jackson. And then rest in peace, Brittany Snow. And then we only have Maxine left, and then also Lorraine in the basement.
Yep. So the old couple goes back to their house. They have sex while Pearl is hiding under the bed. Not Pearl, Maxine.
Yeah, same diff.
In my defense, she plays the same character.
Yeah, same diff. It's just her younger.
Yeah.
Of course, the bedroom is a great place to hide, though. But I guess you don't know that they're going to do that.
Well, they have horrifying old people sex.
Yeah, but Howard's like, are you sure that I won't have a heart attack? She's like, haha, yeah, I'm sure. Just like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm. I just need it.
Just need it. It's like, dude, she needs like some type of a sex toy so she can, like, you know what I mean? Like, for real. But real quick, backing up, Lorraine's in the basement and she finds something there that I thought was more extreme than what it was, which is was it just like a random guy who was dead, like strung up, but his pee-pee was out?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's about.
I don't know, probably a sex doll.
Oh, wait, no. It was a man, but here's what I was trying to really hard to figure out what that was about. And Howard briefly, when he was talking to Matthew McConaughey, was like, there was a bohemian guy that came by before you, just one man, and he enticed my wife and she like did whatever. I don't know if Howard knew he was down in the basement tied up. I don't know what she did to this dude, but his pee was, I don't know.
I think Howard knows everything she does.
How? Okay, well then he knew that he was down there. So anyway, that there was just a man down there. But yeah, maybe you're right when in regard to the sex doll thing, that's what he is
Well,
now.
and I think that's their plan for Jenna Ortega's character is to keep her because
Oh,
when Pearl goes down and frees her, um,
yeah.
she runs out and Howard immediately gets her the shotgun.
Oh shit, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
he
That was
says,
wild.
one of them says, well, we don't need her anymore anyway, because they just had sex. So, I,
Good for the year.
yeah, I think they were probably planning on keeping her the same way they were keeping the Bohemian.
Yes, the Bohemian. Yeah.
And then as they're dragging Jenna's body back into the house, because if she's in the house, it's self-defense and won't count as murder.
Yes, that is a Texas. I think that's still like a thing in Texas,
Yeah.
though.
Um, he does have a heart attack because Pearl is not helping him at all, and he's got to carry 30-pound Jenna Ortega.
I know, but she like, I think she like did a death rattle and was like, and he was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He fucking scared himself to death. So she's like, Howard, oh no, how could this happen?
Yeah.
God damn, Pearl.
And then Maxine's like,
I'm gonna shoot you, you fucking old
yeah,
bitch.
give me the fucking truck keys. And she's like, no, I won't give you the truck keys. You don't think I know who you are. You're a whore. I was you.
I was you. And she's like, no, I need the keys. And she's like, okay, they are over there. She's like, okay, thank you.
And then Pearl grabs the shotgun and tries to shoot her, but the fucking recoil launches her out the door.
I know, because she's just so frail 1,000-year-old body. It's like, when I was like, damn, she shot out the door, past the porch, down the steps, and onto the grass. I was like, Jesus Christ, that's some fucking shotgun.
As Maxine's leaving, she's like, my hip.
Finally, because earlier Howard was like, I'm worried that my wife will fall and break her hip. And I'm like, wow, that's a very old person thing to worry about, isn't it? But it happened.
And she's like, you're a whore. I'm going to tell them all you did this. And Maxine gets in the truck, backs up over her head and crushes it.
It's
and
so
then
funny whenever they like do threats, like, I'm going to tell her. And it's like, okay, yes. That's the point.
And then as Maxine drives off into the sunrise, this whole time a TV has been playing in the background with a televangelist giving
all
a
TVs
sermon
all over the neighborhood. They just watch the Jesus show with the televangelist guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's revealed that his daughter had fallen into the sinful lifestyle.
Ugh.
And who's his daughter? Maxine.
It's Maxine, because she has a special freckle face only on one side of her face. So she's super special.
Yeah. Bum, bum, bum.
That was interesting. I wasn't expecting that. So
And
I hope we get more of that in the new movie.
Yeah, I do think that will play out in the new movie, because in the trailers and in marketing for the premiere, they have religious protesters for.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I do think that's going to come back. I do think that's going to play a part. We also know in Maxine, the Night Stalker is going to be a character.
Is this before or after X? Is Maxine?
It'll be after X.
After, okay, so okay, cool.
So chronological is Pearl, X,
Excellent.
and then Maxine.
Oh, okay, cool, excellent, nice.
Release order is X, Pearl, then Maxine.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. So Pearl, we gotta watch that next then.
Yeah. So I'm curious how Pearl is going to tie into Maxine, but I do think the televangelist stuff that was set up in this movie will play out in Maxine.
Definitely. That was cool and interesting, because that's like real shit there too. I feel like even today, that's how it is in those like backcountry little towns.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So
what else?
Production.
The end of the movie though, she drove away, and then
production. I am a sucker for like the actual shots that were for the porn. I'm a sucker for vintage film, so I loved all of those shots. They looked fantastic.
Oh yeah, here's something I did want to like talk about, is that like, yes, like for anyone who didn't see this, we do see Mia Goth's boobs and butt, and then Brittany Snow's boobs and butt. No
No
full
peen.
frontal. No, like no, yeah, no peen. Sam. So
What?
like you know what I'm gonna say. I'm upset.
Kid Cudi, how dare you not show your peen?
I know we see a silhouette of a big dick, which is probably a prosthetic because that's like a biological anomaly, I'm sure, but no real peen.
No real peen.
Anyway, okay, but please continue with the production. I just wanted to make a note.
Talked about Ty West. He's very well known in the horror space. I think with this trilogy, he's kind of officially taken his place as a horror master in this new era of horror masters.
This is excellent because, like, yeah, he's
So
honing in on the skills.
we
So
got
stay in horror.
We got Ty West. We've got Jordan Peele. We've got
Flanagan.
I guess Ari Aster.
Aster. Has he done anything lately?
Life of Bo with Joaquin Phoenix was his last movie.
Oh, is that like a scary movie?
I think it's a psychological thriller.
Life of Bo?
Yeah.
Wait, Life of Joaquin Phoenix. Hang on, I'll just look at Joaquin Phoenix. Joe Quinn. There he is. Movies. Joker 2. Have you seen any of the Jokers? I'm so sorry to go on a sidebar, but
I have not.
Neither. We should try to maybe. Would you consider that a?
I don't know if I'd consider Joker a horror movie.
Maybe not. Okay, Beau is Afraid. Is that what you mean?
Beau is Afraid. Beau is Afraid. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that was 2023. Okay. I guess I don't have to like put too much pressure. I'm like, what is he doing lately?
Yeah. No. And I didn't see Life of Beau. The plot didn't interest me. So also it was another 3-hour fucking Ari Aster movie.
Oh God. Yeah. Probably like a little confusing to the brain. But anyway.
Yeah. Like I like the 3-hour cut of Midsommar. I think the scenes that were cut add a little more context to the cult.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that might be cool.
But like, I don't know.
Because I just watched the theatrical version. I just watched, But yeah, it can be exhausting if it's every single one.
Yes.
Quentin Tarantino special, but you expect it from Quentin.
Yeah. But it's fun to be in this era and starting to see who's really gonna be like who are gonna be the next like horror director icons.
Yeah,
the next
this
masters
era
of horror.
Right? Or like this generation, like our generation now.
Yeah. Because you have Carpenter, you have Craven, you have Cunningham.
Yes. And then you mentioned Cronenberg, which is a little earlier, but still, And
then those guys kind of carried out throughout the 90s, and then I guess the 2000s we got Roth coming in as a new horror master.
Yeah, Eli Roth, and then the Saw guys. A little bit.
That's right. They also did the Saw guy did Saw. Oh, fuck. We just did Saw. James Wan. James Wan is a master.
Oh yeah, James Wan. I was like Darren Belsman, but like James Wan, for sure.
James Wan.
Like other people in the early 2000s, everybody was making crazy fucking horror movies. I feel like.
But I feel like Roth and Wan are the ones that really have stood out as
And then we had like a horror desert after that, I feel like, right? Like
where we didn't really have directors the way we were getting now. Like I'm sure if I go back and we review some of these movies from the 10s, but I feel like with the 10s, with the rant I went on with the mini show, a lot of it was just sequels of what came out in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
so
not a whole lot of
you could say it was kind of a desert.
It was like is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah, like a horror desert. Yeah.
Where it was a lot of sequels and then a lot of remakes.
Yes. And that was like fine, but like it wasn't really fulfilling. But now we're like getting
we weren't getting true new voices, new perspectives in the horror genre.
Like teens to 20s, especially now, it's like ramping up. So I feel like we're on like a bell curve and we're going up on the up again. So that's cool.
Which is really cool to see these young directors come out with their own like visions and kind of take their place with the other masters of horror.
I know, and I'm so glad that like everybody loves horror right now. Like this is great. I'm sorry, I'm getting that like feeling.
You're getting that tingle.
Yeah, like everybody's like going all in on horror because we got these directors, like you said, but they're doing movie after movie after movie after movie, and they're great. And then maybe we can get like Oscar like worthy nominations for these movies.
I'm
and like things like
I'm
that.
so hopeful Longlegs is going to be an Oscar
I can't
worthy.
wait till you see it so we can talk about it. But I have made a decision to go to the movies, but can you guess what movie I'm probably gonna see in July?
You're going to see Twisters
Yes, I think you know that. I'm gonna go see Twisters.
because I'm going
That's
to
I'm
see
gonna
Twisters.
yeah, I'm gonna leave my house and go and do that.
Yeah,
So we can
don't tell the director of the play I'm assisting with, even though I don't think it's a big deal, but I'm skipping one of the final tech week rehearsals
yes, you
to
just
go
something
see
came up.
Twisters.
Yeah, something's coming up, which is coming out on the 19th. I return from vacation. Okay, so that'll be like the week I'm back. So
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Is it gonna be like a good sequel? I don't fucking
I
know.
don't
Is it gonna
know.
be a fun tornado movie? Yes.
Yeah, that's all I want to do is like I don't really care. I'm not sure how it's gonna tie
All I
in.
care about right now is that they launch fireworks into a tornado. Like, why? I don't care. That looks fucking cool. And Dorothy returns.
I
So
saw that.
I
Yeah,
do think it is. While it
it's
might
a
not be a direct sequel that relates to the original characters, I think it will relate to the original characters and
it
that they
will.
bring back their technology.
Yes, that's because like Luke keeps asking me, he's like, "Is this like a sequel?" And I was like, "Luke, I do not know, and it may
I,
not be, but
I
like it's gonna
think,
have like some tie-ins a little bit. They're probably in the same town in
yeah,
Oklahoma or whatever."
on
Yeah,
Wikipedia it says it's a spiritual sequel, so
spiritual sequel. That's fine.
it's not a reboot. And it's fine
Good.
that it's not a
That's
true
good.
sequel because a true sequel to me wouldn't feel right. It would be very sad
Yes.
because we don't have Philip Seymour Hoffman and we don't have Bill Paxton.
I know. And
So,
also you and I would scrutinize the fuck out of it if it was a true sequel, because then I'd
yeah.
be pissed if they messed anything up, you know.
Yeah, and it's just there would just be
Yeah.
too big of a hole if
Too
you
big of a
brought back the
hole.
rest of the team and the two of the
Ugh,
guys are gone.
I know. Oh my God, rest in peace to him. I was so sad when he passed. Philip Seymour Hoffman too, of course. That
Yeah,
was really jarring, but
yeah.
Bill Paxton too. I
But no,
love them both.
I think
Yeah,
Twisters is going to be a really fun
excellent.
time.
Excellent movie. Yes, so I'm gonna go see it to see what they're doing with both practical and CGI. I want to see how cool the tornadoes look. I want to see all the cool shit. So like, yeah, if you love tornadoes, go see
And
it.
also
Don't be a hater.
seeing Twister is like just knowing how much storm
Mhm.
chasing has changed since
Yeah.
the original movie came out. Like
Um,
you can just go out and chase tornadoes.
yeah,
The
dude, if you
technology
have
is
a phone.
so much more accessible
Yeah.
now than it
Yeah.
was.
It was, yeah, absolutely. Like in the original, it was like 90s. It was just a bunch of nerds with PhDs
Yeah.
or like whatever, and they're just like doing nerd stuff. And the biggest piece of technology they had was like a laptop in their truck,
Yeah.
like an old ass laptop.
But
But
we understand
now,
more about tornadoes now. There's drones now
yeah.
and
Oh God.
um a lot. Think of the fucking historic tornadoes that have happened since
Dude.
1997's
Oh my
nine
God, a shit ton.
Joplin, El Reno, which was one of the first tornadoes that killed storm chasers because El Reno
Oh
was
my
just
God.
very unpredictable in its path. It wasn't a normal tornado, and very famous, very experienced storm chasers were killed in that tornado.
Damn, that's wild.
So I do I
Yeah.
know if it's going to be like as scientifically accurate as the first one? Don't,
Doubtful
but I
that it's
mean,
gonna be
storm chasing
bigger.
as a whole has really changed. And you have fucking storm chasing tours now, which is weird to me.
Yeah, and we talked about this before, and like I agree, that's
I I I don't think I could
interesting.
do it because you're
No,
paying to see
pain to
possibly see
die.
someone's home get destroyed.
Yeah, it's almost like in the same vein, not exactly the same as like going on the submersible to go see Titanic.
hmm But
Yeah.
speaking of which, we just passed the 1 year anniversary of
I
that.
know. I messaged my friend about it the other night. I was like, dude, this has been a year. I feel like it's been 1 minute, but also like 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't
And
believe that was
there's a
real.
new billionaire who's saying, I'm
Oh
taking a sub down to
God.
prove it's perfectly safe to visit the
That's
Titanic. And I'm
unbelievable.
sitting here like, it is perfectly
Oh,
safe to visit the Titanic. People have been doing it for years. Jim Cameron has done it 30 times. The way
Jim
you
Carrey.
idiots are doing it isn't safe.
Yeah, I don't use the same thing fucking 20 times until it's like half broke and then you use it.
I need to James Cameron just did 60 Minutes Australia talking about
Oh,
the Titan experience, and
Oh yeah.
He really like let loose, and I haven't watched the full thing, but he said
Dude.
the way we treated that situation was abhorrent, and that we had given anyone hope that these people could still be alive was awful, and how many billions in tax dollars we wasted
Yeah.
on an already lost cause.
Search.
Like, I
Yeah, like a
get why they
search.
wanted to search to just definitive proof that they were dead,
Yeah.
but he knew, Ballard knew, everyone who's been down to the Titanic knew what happened to them.
Yeah.
And
I
to
still
give
can't believe that
an
was real.
inkling of hope that they were alive down there was
Yeah, I
egregious.
remember I remember like following the New York Times like live feed of it. And I remember like that morning it was like the people in the submersible that's missing have only like 4 hours of oxygen left. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
well, they're gonna die either at like 1 o'clock or they're already dead. You know what I mean? It was that kind of thing. So I was like,
And
Jesus
he
Christ, it was
said, every dive I've taken,
Mhm.
my I have never been concerned about the ship imploding because it was made the way it was supposed to be made. And that's the issue with these billionaires trying to prove it's perfectly safe, because they're taking the cheapest route to build these
I
submersibles. And yeah,
know.
it might be safe
It's
the
cutting
first time,
corners.
but it's not going to be safe the third time.
Yes, exactly. And they're cutting corners. Like Cameron's been down to the fucking Mariana Trench. That's unbelievable
Yeah.
to me. So yeah, he's a fucking pro. You know what I mean? So like he knows
Hmm.
what the fuck he's talking about. But yeah, that's speaking of real horror, that's fucking insane
Yeah.
that like the 1 year passed and I was like, I can't believe that really happened. Like I feel like it was so insane that it was like a not real,
Yeah.
but that really happened. But yeah, we really did spend all that time trying to figure out what the fuck happened and find them and recreate like the destruction of the thing
Yeah.
down there with the pressure. And oh my God, unbelievable. So
Anyway,
anyway,
realistic aspects of
whew.
this movie. Uh,
um, uh,
Aging and becoming undesirable.
yeah, you know what that is that yeah, and then being old and then having a spouse that you want to please, but like you physically could put yourself in harm's way doing so. But also not being open enough to sex where you would try to provide for them in different ways like sex toys, like other stuff where you could still do something with them. It doesn't have to be penetrative sex, you know what I mean? So both of
Hmm.
those aspects of that after
Yeah.
when you're a certain age and people assuming that you just shouldn't anymore after a certain age,
Yeah.
you know.
And your Airbnb host being a little weird.
Yeah, then completely forgetting that you called like yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
I'm coming by. Like as if other people even come by. They don't.
Hmm.
So that just like risking going out to a remote place in Texas where like the vibe is very like Jesus freak.
Hmm.
And you're doing like porn, like I don't know. So that uh wandering around barefoot and stepping on like a nail in the barn. Real
Mm,
shit, real shit. And fucked up his foot for life. So,
yeah. Yeah.
oh, swimming in a lake with like an alligator. Like, I guess you really got to watch, man. Like,
Yeah. I
yeah.
see videos of people canoeing in like Florida, and they just are like, oh, there's a gator right there.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Like, I think I love animals, but I don't think I would want to like do that. I'd be too
Oh,
nervous.
absolutely
You
not.
know? That's why I said about the critical thinking skills, man. Unless like that was on purpose and like, oh, yeah, I'm not scared. What else is in anything else?
I don't think so.
Mm, yeah. I mean, I think everything really could be like real, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah. I think that's all I have.
drug use, cocaine.
Yeah.
Um,
Growing up in a religious household.
yeah, being the daughter of like a televangelist, like yikes,
Yeah.
that sucks. Assuming that your girlfriend is not interested in doing porn, but she actually is. Surprise, surprise. Uh, and then okay, but that's about it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, how did you feel overall your second time through, Sam?
Yeah.
What would you like to
I
rate
still
this movie?
I still say, yeah, this fucked me up. It's really good.
Yeah, you know what? I watched it and then I was like excited for the plot and stuff. And I will also say yeah, that fucked me up too, because like it did surprise me that like our antagonist was like Pearl, the old lady, and the old man, and like they're kind of like weird and stuff, but you don't know it's gonna be the woman. You assume it's gonna be like Howard because he had the shotgun first, or whatever,
Yeah.
or the alligator will be the antagonist. No. But yes, so oh yeah, that fucked me up. Agreed. It's on Netflix until Sunday.
Yes.
If anybody wants to watch it, this would be Sunday. I'm sorry, guys, June 30th.
Yeah, so it'll probably be gone when this is up, but it'll end up somewhere else.
Oh well, yeah, I will. Maybe it'll end up on Disney Plus next to Saw. Who knows? Doesn't fucking matter. Disney Plus is doing fucking whatever they want these days. So, okay, cool. Well, if we're all situated, then I can go ahead and do the outro notes. So thanks for tuning into our episode. We are the Real Horror Show podcast. Our host is Sam Odie, and I'm the co-host, Stormy Skies. The podcast was created by Sam Odie and Stormy Skies and is directed, edited, and produced by Sam Odie. You can find Sam on Instagram at Sam is Writing Stuff, and you can find Stormy on Instagram at The Stormy Skies. You can find the Real Horror Show podcast on Spotify, TuneIn, iTunes, Google Play Store, Pandora, and anywhere you like to stream your podcasts. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you're always in the know when a new episode comes out. Follow us on social media. You can find the Real Horror Show podcast on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter/X. We do more than just podcasts. We love to write and have plenty of great movie reviews and essays, all of which can be found on our website, realhorrorshow.com. We love hearing from our listeners. You can ask us a question or send us a movie request or review by DMing us on social media, or you can even send us an email at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. So please send them in. Call for guests. Do you love horror movies? Are you a podcaster, a content creator, a movie lover, or anyone in between who is a listener to our show? We would love to have you as a guest on one of our episodes. Reach out to us via social media DM or email us at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Our podcast episodes featuring guests are all listed on our website, realhorrorshow.com. We are so thankful for all of our listeners. You are the life force of our podcast, and we wouldn't really exist without you. Thank you all for making this podcast real and supporting us as we record every week. You can support us in different ways, such as liking and sharing our podcast episodes on social media. Giving us a review will help the podcast more than you know and will help other listeners find it too. You can also donate to Real Horror Show by visiting our support page on our website. You can make a one-time donation via PayPal, buy us a coffee with the Buy Us a Coffee button, or explore our very interesting Amazon wish list. And any other pertinent news?
I don't think so.
Okay. I have a little bit of pertinent news, which is next week will be my last week available for recording, and then I will be away. So we won't record our movie for like an extra week, so 2 weeks. So we can address that next time.
All right, so we have a mini show for next week.
Yes, so a mini show for next week. So guys, watch the second episode of The Haunting of Hill House for next week if you're available, because I'll make sure I'm available. And other than that, our outro song is called Creepy Doll by Jonathan Colton, and he can be found at jonathancolton.com. Thank you, fuck off, and have a swell evening. This is Real Horror Show signing off.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And there's a creepy doll that always follows